What is Overactive Media?
Yeah, it's, I've said recently, where we started and where ultimately we're going to get to, I think, are two different things. But what my best answer for that right now would be, we believe we're building a 21st century sports media and entertainment company. And we're doing that with esports at our core, with that very intention. So that's what we think we're doing here. A Madison Square Garden or Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment for a new century.
You have several teams playing in different leagues in different markets. And I think for a lot of traditional sports fans or sports investors, they understand what that means, right? If you have some sort of share in the Lakers, you understand what that means and you understand where the profit comes from and where that goes. Break it down a little bit to us what that actually looks like for esports franchise owners and what it actually means in terms of where's the money and how do people actually benefit off of this type of model.
We jumped into this because we bought into a couple of fundamental ideas. First, that esports by its very nature was global in its appeal. And while it has its origins and takes its roots out of Asia, I think we've all been witness to the last couple of years, watching it take on, certainly more significance in Western Europe and across Europe and certainly here in North America. But it's global. It's also native digital. And what I mean by that is it's not only where the fans spend their time as it relates to social media platforms and so on, but the broadcast expression of these sports are on over-the-top platforms, which makes them, again, by their very nature, global in their accessibility. Different than, say, we've watched the NFL, Major League Baseball, or in my case here in Canada, National Hockey League kind of develop in a very linear way, in a very regional way around those team brands. So what does that mean? Well, as owners of these franchises, we can own a team in Madrid, have them play out of Berlin, and be totally relevant, to a global audience because we have broad-based fan appeal in the same way that, say, an English Premier League soccer team would. That's where we think the huge opportunity is. If we can own from the beginning a franchise position inside of a global league that is by its nature native digital, then the monetization of that fan over a period of time really scales. And so as long as you have a long view to the industry, then the opportunity for it to scale significantly is important. And so that takes us to the last piece. From a business model perspective, that means we need to be invested in league opportunities as franchise partners that share in the revenue and the enterprise growth of those leagues, that allow us to participate in the monetization of those fans and the partnership deals and the licensing deals that get done on a global basis. So that's our strategy, is to be invested in those closed franchise leagues that give us a chance to participate.
With this, you're not like network dependent, right? Like what is the avenue to bring it to the end user?
Esports for us, again, means being invested in those closed leagues. And just like the NFL or the NBA, the league negotiate broadcast rights deals. And in our case, they're done with over-the-top platforms. So initially, for example, the Overwatch League did a 2-year deal with Twitch. And again, Twitch, absent China, Twitch reaches around the world. And so that's a logical platform and a place where influencers and gamers live. In the second iteration of that deal for Overwatch League and subsequently for Call of Duty League, that broadcast deal moves to Google YouTube. And so, again, a global platform that allows for scale. Where Mad Lions is concerned, which is our League of Legends team based in Europe, that team today is in the middle of negotiating its forward-looking broadcast deal, and we'll see how that comes. But again, they're regional in their orientation in terms of building fan affinity and community and marketing partnerships. That's our model, is to be relevant on a regional basis, but we're invested in leagues that have global scale opportunity. So that allows us all at once the opportunity to monetize locally and participate globally.
Owning a team, tell me about like what it actually looks like, what an investment team actually looks like for you.
What we're not doing is we're not investing in a global ecosystem without structure. We're only invested in business models that we think have scale and can be sustainable. Now, it's a long play. You need to have a long view to this industry in the ways that you would have needed to have a long view to the potential of the National Football League when it existed as two leagues back in the 1940s and 50s. Our business is built out today around 75, 80 people. That includes players, team performance and team services staff, a full business marketing, digital marketing, marketing partnership, business services, operational finance. All of that exists inside of our company. What we do not believe in is, 4 kids in a basement drinking Red Bull. What we do believe in is a league structure that allows us to, again, sit inside the enterprise growth. And what we try to bring to it every day as Overactive Media is a level of sophistication that otherwise we don't see in the ecosystem today. We really and modestly believe that we're providing leadership in that way to this industry that has been up to now nascent because of the quality of people and the very professional approach that we've tried to take to developing our business and our strategies around it.
During COVID, we saw a lot of interesting new attention on esports, right? You saw professional athletes streaming it themselves. Obviously, people were on lockdown, so they were looking for different things to do with their time. So we saw a lot more growth in the sector than we had. And maybe, there's growth in the sector, but it probably accelerated a little bit. Is that sustainable? Is that actually a real growth, or was that just a COVID bump that other industries experienced? Are people going to go back? What does that look like when things start to ease? Well, fingers crossed, things start to ease out in a little bit.
Yeah, so I like your phrase accelerate, because that's what I think this has been. And not to diminish, what we're all dealing with and the very grave stakes that are attached to it all. It has, I think, this circumstance has been an accelerant. And I do think it's sustainable. Actually, it's an interesting conversation, don't you think, to imagine what a lot of our lives look like on the other side of this. What does travel look like? What does it mean to go on vacation in our future? What does entertainment look like? What does the live event experience look like? And I think we're at a natural pivot point here for a lot of those things. I'm certainly one that over years in our industry has spent, a lot of time on airplanes. And literally, before we all went into lockdown in March, I had done 2 trips to the Middle East and come back through Europe, like in the first 60 days of the year. And that's pretty standard fare for me for a long time now. I think it's become very clear that I will not need to do that in the future. We've set up a new standard of expectation around how we engage in ways like this. And I think business in that way gets easier and more efficient and more affordable. Similarly, what does the fan, parenthetically speaking, what does the fan think about as entertainment, especially, at least until there's a new vaccine that helps us all feel better about gathering. So, what does that look like for platforms like this, Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and what does it mean to gaming, and what does it mean to the experience of live entertainment around esport? And again, I think it only gets bigger and is more accelerated in these times. So, we were always bullish on the potential of all of this, but actually, my humble opinion in conversations with others that are in the live event business, I think there's going to be a significant pent-up demand and expectation to be together as humans. I think we're going to crave the notion of gathering around the things that we're most passionate about. So we're very bullish on the live event experience. We're very bullish on what that will mean for esports and for the opportunity to bring our fans together to celebrate what they love. And as you're probably aware, we're very bullish on what that will mean to the venue business. And as a result, we're thinking, I think, largely differently and in a very accelerated way about the idea of building out an entertainment venue here in the city that can all at once fill a void that has not existed or that has existed here for a long time as a venue.
No one knew it was happening, right? Everyone was on hold, and you come out with an announcement about that you're looking to invest in potentially a 10,000 seats esports space. Tell me about that, because that is a huge investment during COVID when sports aren't being played, BMO's empty next door, and you're talking about building something brand new for esports. Like, that's fascinating.
Yeah, so a couple of things about that. First of all, as you've said, we are very bullish on the idea. This has been a gap in this marketplace for some time. Again, we all have a great love for Scotiabank Arena, formerly the Air Canada Centre, and as you're probably aware, I was very proudly on that executive team as we built that facility and stood those two teams up inside of it. And I happen to think that, now more than 20 years later, that is still one of the best sports and entertainment venues in the world. And it seems unfathomable to me that a city of our caliber, a world-class city like Toronto, the fourth largest market in North America, does not have an 8 to 10,000 seat entertainment venue, to all at once, rival our friends down the street in terms of competing head to head for top entertainment corporate acts, but also to at least be an alternative venue at that moment where 100 plus nights a year, the Raptors and the Leafs can flick that facility out of being able to host great entertainment opportunities for the city. So there's a strategic opportunity here that we saw from the beginning, and we've been working almost since our inception to identify a tranche of land where we could develop a facility like this. And it's still early days, but certainly we've been notionally well received as an idea for the city by our government stakeholders. Again, still a lot of work to do there to help them understand the strategy and what it can mean for the city and how it can be complementary to the facilities that exist already on the exhibition grounds. But equally, great conversations with potential partners in the facility that, can help us stand up truly a world-class experience. So I should be clear, and again, we think of ourselves as a 21st century sports media and entertainment company. This is not an esports facility. This is going to be an entertainment facility that, again, could just as easily one night play host to Celine Dion as it might, be host to a citywide event for Microsoft, and the next day be a great experience for all of our fans around esport. We desire it to be that flexible, that multi-purpose, and to create a fan experience that is second to none for all of our stakeholders.
So Chris, thank you so much for your time this morning. I appreciate it. Look forward to chatting again soon after, the stadium's on its way. Who knows what's going to happen with more of your league stuff going on, but we'll have to reconnect soon to follow up.
Great, we'll do that for sure. Thanks for your time today.
All right, cheers, take care.